Have you ever heard of a snake so huge that it could swallow a goat, a cow, or even a human being in one gulp? In the heart of a quiet Nigerian village, a girl entered the forest, and what she met inside changed her life forever. This is not just a story of fear, it is a story of bravery, mystery, and a secret older than the forest itself. If you think you have the courage, then listen till the end. The sun rose gently over Umidike, a small village in eastern Nigeria where people live simple lives. Children played under the big mango trees, women fetched water from the stream, and men worked in their farms. Life was peaceful, yet everyone feared one thing: the forest. The elders often warned the children never to go too deep into the forest because of the dangerous spirits and wild animals that live there. But most especially, they whispered about a giant anaconda snake said to live near the swamp. No one who entered that part of the forest ever came back. In the village lived a young girl named Adana. She was only 16, but she was known for her fearless spirit. While other children trembled at the stories of the anaconda, Adana's eyes always shone with curiosity. Her mother often scolded her, saying, "Adana, curiosity kills faster than a snake bite. Stay away from the forest." But Adana only nodded and smiled. Deep inside, she wanted to know if the stories about the snake were true. One hot afternoon, Adana was sent to fetch firewood with her friends. They walked along the familiar paths, laughing and singing as they gathered dry sticks. But as they reached the edge of the thick forest, something caught Adana's eye: a narrow path that seemed untouched. Her friends warned her not to go near it. "That's the path to the swamp," one whispered. But Adana's feet itched with temptation. Something inside her told her that the forest was hiding a secret waiting to be discovered. Adana pretended to tie her wrapper and slowly slipped away from her friends. She walked down the forbidden path, her heart beating fast. The forest grew darker and cooler as she moved forward. Strange bird calls echoed around her, and the wind whispered through the trees. The deeper she went, the more she felt like the forest was alive, watching her every move. Suddenly, she noticed giant snake tracks in the mud, leading toward the swamp. Her body shivered, but her mind told her to continue. Just as she bent to pick some firewood, Adana froze. Before her, a massive shadow moved silently through the bushes. Then she saw it: the head of the anaconda, bigger than a calabash, with golden eyes that glowed in the dim forest. The snake hissed, and the sound was like thunder. Adana stumbled backward, but her legs refused to move. The anaconda slithered closer, its body as thick as a palm tree trunk. For the first time in her life, fear gripped her heart. With all her strength, Adana screamed and ran. Her bare feet slapped against the muddy ground as she dashed through the forest. Behind her, the anaconda followed, its massive body crushing leaves, snapping branches, and shaking the earth. She ran past tall iroko trees and leapt over fallen logs. Her breath grew heavy, but she refused to stop. The snake's hiss grew louder, echoing like a war drum in her ears. Adana's escape ended when she reached the swamp. The ground beneath her was soft and slippery. As she tried to cross, her feet sank into the mud. Panic seized her as the anaconda drew closer, its tongue flicking out like fire. She struggled and pulled, but the swamp clung to her legs like chains. Just when she thought all hope was lost, she remembered something her grandmother's tale about a hidden stone in the swamp that carried a powerful charm. Her grandmother once told her that the swamp was sacred, guarded by spirits of their ancestors. In its middle was a flat stone. If someone in danger touched it, the ancestors would decide their fate: life or death. With trembling hands, Adana reached for a large stone sticking out from the mud. As her palm touched it, the swamp began to tremble. The anaconda stopped, its golden eyes fixed on her. The ground shook, and a loud voice rose from the swamp. "Adana, child of Umidike, why have you come here?" The voice was deep, yet it carried both anger and mercy. The snake hissed again but did not move forward. Instead, it bowed its massive head, as if waiting for the spirit's command. Adana's heart pounded. She realized that the anaconda was not just an ordinary snake, it was a guardian. The spirit revealed that the snake had been placed there by the ancestors many years ago. Its duty was to protect the forest and the village from evil forces. Anyone who entered the swamp with greed or evil intentions would be swallowed. "But you, Adana," the spirit said, "you came with curiosity, not evil. You have been chosen to learn our secret." The voice told Adana she had two choices. She could leave the swamp now, never to return, and live a normal life. Or she could accept the path of the chosen, learning the mysteries of the forest and becoming the village's protector. Adana's legs trembled, and sweat ran down her face. She wanted to run, but a strange power inside her whispered, "Stay." She raised her head, looked at the glowing stone, and whispered, "I choose to stay." At once, the swamp grew calm. The anaconda lowered its head toward Adana and touched her forehead with its cold tongue. A burning mark appeared there, shaped like a spiral. The spirit spoke again. "From this day, you carry the mark of the guardian. The forest will know you, and the snake will obey you. But remember, power has a price." The anaconda hissed softly, and for the first time, Adana understood it. Its voice echoed in her mind, telling her of dangers yet to come. It warned her of men from another village who would one day come to hunt and destroy the swamp. Adana's eyes widened. She realized she was not just chosen for herself, she was chosen for her people. The burden of protecting Umidike now rested on her shoulders. Adana walked back to the village, her steps heavy but filled with new strength. When her friends saw her, they gasped. Her forehead glowed faintly with the spiral mark, and her wrapper was soaked in swamp mud. "Adana, where did you go?" they cried. She only smiled faintly and whispered, "I saw the truth." When Adana told her story to the elders, they did not believe her. They laughed and said, "This girl's curiosity has turned into foolishness." Only her grandmother looked at her with knowing eyes. The old woman pulled her aside and whispered, "Child, the forest has chosen you. The elders will not understand, but the time will come when they will see." That night, Adana dreamt of the anaconda. In the dream, it showed her visions of fire, hunters, and blood. She woke up sweating, her body shaking from fear. But deep inside, she understood the message: the danger was real and it was coming soon. Days later, strangers entered Umidike. They carried long spears, sharp cutlasses, and hunting nets. They told the villagers they were searching for a giant snake rumored to live in the forest. The villagers welcomed them, not knowing the hunters' greed. But Adana's heart sank. These were the men the anaconda had warned her about. Adana begged the elders not to help the hunters. She told them the snake was not evil, but a guardian. The elders shook their heads and said, "Enough of your stories, child. The hunters are here to protect us." But Adana's grandmother squeezed her hand and whispered, "Do what you must, child. The ancestors are with you." That night, Adana sneaked into the forest to warn the anaconda. She followed the glowing spiral mark on her forehead, which lit the path like a lantern. When she reached the swamp, the snake was waiting. It hissed, and she understood, the hunters are near. Prepare. Adana placed her hand on the sacred stone and swore to protect the swamp with her life. The anaconda wrapped its body around her gently, as if blessing her courage. The spirit's voice thundered again, "Your path is chosen. Do not fail."